Joao Neves' comments about Cristiano Ronaldo were already causing a stir, but now footage that appears to show a tense exchange between the two Portugal teammates is spreading across social media. So what was actually said, and did those comments lead to a confrontation behind the scenes? Stay tuned to find out. Ronaldo cut a frustrated figure as he stormed off the pitch following Portugal's 1-1 draw with DR Congo in their 2026 World Cup opener. While the rest of the squad stayed out to acknowledge the significant Portuguese support in Houston, he opted for a swift exit to the dressing room. That walk-off right there, that's where this whole thing ignited. Moments after the final whistle at Houston, the Portugal captain turned and headed straight for the tunnel following that frustrating draw. The brief gesture quickly caught the attention of fans, with many wondering whether the veteran forward was sending a message after Portugal let an early lead slip away. Now, take yourself back to the build-up. Portugal were considered one of the favorites to win the 2026 World Cup, a side packed with genuine world-class players playing in a tournament hosted on their doorstep across North America. The expectation going into that opener against DR Congo was a comfortable win. Nobody was preparing for drama. Nobody was preparing for footage that would take over football Twitter for the next 48 hours. Neves gave Portugal the lead by scoring inside the opening 5 minutes, with many expecting Roberto Martinez's side to take control and build on that early advantage. And for those first few minutes, it felt like exactly the easy night everyone predicted. Then everything went sideways. DR Congo refused to collapse and responded just before halftime through Newcastle forward Joao Neves, who scored the equalizer to secure a memorable result for the two-time AFCON champions. Neither side could find a winner in the second half, and the two were forced to share the spoils. And at the heart of the conversation about why Portugal couldn't find a winner was Ronaldo. He started the game but failed to make the desired impact, missing two big chances as his goalless run in major tournaments was extended to 10 games. He played all 90 minutes despite generating just 3 shot attempts and putting none on goal. The night before that game, Ronaldo would have watched Lionel Messi score a hat-trick. Erling Haaland and Kylian Mbappe both bagged braces. All 3 of those happened the day before. This was his response, and it was a poor one. As the referee blew for full time, Ronaldo was among the first to leave the field. He was seen walking with his head down, clearly disgruntled by both the result and his own performance, music, which saw several chances go begging. That walk-off split the internet, music, in two. Some people defended him, saying a champion's frustration is natural, that it shows hunger. Others pointed at his teammates still on the pitch applauding the fans, and music said it showed exactly the kind of division that had been whispered about in the Portugal camp for years. His immediate music exit spread across social media, and questions soon followed about whether the 41-year-old was unhappy with the result, the performance, or even his role within the team. That was the spark. Then came Joao Neves, and the spark became a fire. Neves, who scored Portugal's only goal, was asked, music, about Ronaldo's influence during his post-match interview, and what came out of his mouth next, whether he meant it the way people heard it or not, changed the entire conversation around Portugal's World Cup campaign overnight. The post-match interview room in Houston is where this story truly detonates. Joao Neves walks up to the microphone. He's 21 years old. He just scored Portugal's only goal at a World Cup. By all rights, this should be his moment. The young PSG midfielder stepping into the spotlight on the grandest stage of his music career. Instead, a reporter asks him about Ronaldo. And instead of giving a politician's answer and moving on, Neves does something that nobody in the Portugal camp could have predicted would land the way it did. When asked about Ronaldo after the match, music, Neves sought to emphasize the collective nature of the squad rather than the status, music, of any individual. We know what Cristiano has done for us, for our national team, and for the world of football. But at this moment, we know that he is no different. He is just another player here to help. He is no different from the others. He is here to contribute just like all of us. 7 words. He is just another player here. 7 words directed at a man who has scored 143 goals in 226 appearances for Portugal. The most capped player in the history of international men's football, appearing at his 6th World Cup. The clips circulated in minutes within the hour. It was everywhere. The phrase, "Neo é diferente," meaning he is not different, was widely interpreted as diminishing Ronaldo's legendary status. It didn't matter what Neves intended. The internet took those words and ran. One fan wrote, "This is so careless from Joao Neves. Even if the intentions are clear, media will eat this up and use it for agenda." And that's exactly what happened. Now, here's the context that matters. Context that got completely buried under the avalanche of outrage. Neves' comments were quite plainly a defense of Ronaldo and a tribute to his attitude as the leader of a squad packed with players who haven't achieved anything in the game to match him. He was making a unity point, the kind of thing coaches say before every tournament. Every player pulls in the same direction. Every player's role matters equally. Standard team talk territory. But there's no accounting for man's desire to feel slighted on behalf of a stranger. So, Neves might now regret his well-intentioned attempt to frame Ronaldo as a team player because timing is everything in football. And the timing of those words said on the same night Ronaldo walked off the pitch alone while his teammates clapped for the fans made them sound like something they were never meant to be. Much of the post-match discussion focused on Ronaldo's performance and his role in Roberto Martinez's side at the age of 41. Analysts questioned whether Portugal's continued dependence on their veteran captain remains sustainable deep into the tournament. The frustration that had been building for months, the quiet conversations about whether Ronaldo should still be starting, about whether the team was being built around one man at the expense of a generation of genuinely elite players. All of it poured into those 7 words from Neves. Things escalated after Neves expressed his comments at the post-match interview. They didn't go down well with many CR7 fans who felt the PSG midfielder lacked respect and undermined Ronaldo's legacy. The footage of Neves saying it, the footage of Ronaldo's post-match walk-off, side by side on social media, an argument without either man ever being in the same room. If you want to understand the scale of what happened next, you have to understand what Ronaldo's fan base is like when they feel their man is being disrespected. These aren't casual supporters refreshing a highlights page. These are people who have followed every minute of this man's career across 2 decades who feel a genuinely personal connection to his story. When Joao Neves called him music, just another player, a significant chunk of that fan base didn't read it as a teamwork speech. They read it as a declaration of war. Thousands of angry CR7 fans left angry messages on Neves' Instagram account, while some even hounded his girlfriend. The attack was immediate and coordinated, the way only football fan bases can be. Screenshots circulating online showed numerous users demanding that Neves pass the ball to Ronaldo and criticizing his remarks about the music, Portugal captain. Several Portugal stars, including Bruno Fernandes, Vitinha, and Pedro Neto, also saw their social media accounts flooded with accusations that they deliberately ignored or sabotaged the veteran forward during the game. But Neves bore the brunt of it because he was the one who spoke. His next Instagram post sparked an avalanche of Ronaldo fans pointing out that Neves is a nobody playing in a team with a demigod. In between gifs of Ronaldo pointing at himself, one fan wrote on his page, and this one captures the temperature of the whole thing perfectly. "Let me be clear, your comments about Cristiano Ronaldo were disrespectful and unprofessional. You don't have to like him, but you will respect him. You're a young player with talent, but talent without respect means nothing. Legends built this game for you. Act like it. Show some class and keep Ronaldo's name out of your mouth unless it's with respect." Another wrote, "Why are you talking about Ronaldo like this? You should respect the history you have with him." A third said, "Show some respect for Cristiano Ronaldo. He is your captain, your leader, and the man who carried Portugal onto the world stage. Without him, a lot of what Portugal achieved would never have happened." Those were the polite ones. It escalated from there. Joao Neves' girlfriend, Madalena Aragao, disabled comments on her Instagram account after becoming the target of abuse from Cristiano Ronaldo fans. The online backlash followed Portugal's draw against DR Congo and intensified after Neves described Ronaldo as different from any other player in the national team. Fans subsequently flooded both Neves and Aragao's social media pages with criticism, forcing the actress and influencer to restrict comments on her posts. This was no longer about a quote. It had turned into something uglier, personal, targeted, relentless. And then, Neves fired back. Speaking out regarding the cyber attack, Neves defended his partner. He stated that his girlfriend told him about the comments. but remains completely unworried because she understands how toxic social media can be. And then, he said something that only made the fire burn hotter. People hate the truth. People hate the truth from a 21-year-old about Cristiano Ronaldo at a World Cup. One fan on X wrote, "The Portugal squad civil war is easily more entertaining than the actual World Cup." It wasn't a civil war yet, but it was getting there. Here's where the story gets wider because Joao Neves wasn't alone in this, whether he wanted company or not. More controversy followed Portugal's 2026 World Cup debut, with Ronaldo's sister reportedly calling out the rest of the team for not passing the ball to the striker with social media posts, implying that she also liked a post that criticized Bruno Fernandes' behavior on the field. Ronaldo's sister liking posts that slam his own teammates at a World Cup. The family had entered the group chat. While the five-time Ballon d'Or winner was widely criticized for his underwhelming display, a section of his fans refused to accept it. Instead, they blamed the midfielders, including Bruno Fernandes, music, for not being able to create enough chances in the final third. And Bruno Fernandes, the Manchester United captain, Ronaldo's own international, music, teammate for years, was right in the crosshairs alongside Neves. Angry fans quickly accused Neves and other music midfielders like Fernandes of purposely refusing to pass the ball to Ronaldo during the game, leading to a massive wave of online retaliation. The accusation was stark. It wasn't just that the team played poorly, it was that Portugal's midfielders were conspiring against their own captain, deliberately freezing him out. On purpose, on the biggest stage in world football. Now, Fernandes, arguably the most experienced and vocal personality in this Portugal squad, didn't issue a long statement pushing back on the noise. Instead, he did something far more pointed. He backed Neves' statement by dropping a heart emoji on his Instagram post. One heart emoji. That's all it took to confirm to a watching fan base primed for conflict that the Portuguese dressing room had sides. That there were players who quietly agreed that this Ronaldo situation needed music addressing. That the whispers were real. The criticism extended beyond Neves to several national team players, with supporters arguing that some teammates do not provide Ronaldo with sufficient support on the field, whether through weak passing or failing to utilize him effectively. But this is where the scrutiny around Portugal at the 2026 World Cup becomes about more than one post-match comment. It's about a question that has hung over this squad for years. The question that followed Portugal into a third straight tournament. What role would Cristiano Ronaldo play? The most capped player in international men's football has nothing to prove at his sixth World Cup in 21 music years. But analysts noted that his diminished mobility and Portugal's over-reliance on his influence don't make for productive bedfellows. And Ronaldo was held scoreless for the fifth straight World Cup match and the 10th consecutive game in major competitions, including World Cups and European Championships. That streak, 10 games, that music is the number sitting underneath every single thing that happened this week. Neves comments, the Instagram pylon, Fernandes emoji, the sisters likes. 10 major tournament games without a goal is the gravity pulling everything else into orbit, because the question isn't really whether Neves disrespected Ronaldo. The real question, the one that nobody in the Portugal camp will say out loud, is whether the numbers are starting to say it for them. Manager Roberto Martinez faces the delicate task of managing squad harmony, balancing the transition to a new generation while still relying on Ronaldo's experience and leadership. That balancing act is now completely in public, and it's being watched by the entire world, with the dressing room drama threatening to swallow Portugal's entire World Cup campaign. Two men had to step forward to address it. One of them was the coach, the other was Ronaldo himself. Roberto Martinez had already found himself in damage control mode in the press conference after the DR Congo draw. A reporter asked him directly about Joao Neves' comments on Ronaldo. The coach chose his words carefully, defending both men at the same time, a near-impossible tightrope walk. Music. In response to a reporter's question about Neves' remarks, Martinez commented, "I think that statement can be easily misunderstood. Cristiano Ronaldo's status in this team cannot be diminished. We are talking about one of the greatest footballers in history. He has achieved everything. He has scored more goals for Portugal than any other player, broken countless records, and continues to fight for this country." And then he acknowledged the other side, Neves' side. Martinez continued, When people hear comments like these, it might lead them to question the player's mindset, his understanding of the locker room atmosphere, and even his values. However, I also understand what Joao was trying to say. I don't believe he intended any insult. What he was trying to express is that Portugal's goal is bigger than any individual. The coach managed to defend Ronaldo's status while also leaving a door open for Neves, a masterclass in saying nothing while appearing to say everything. Martinez also addressed Ronaldo's post-match walk-off, the image, music, that set this whole chain of events in motion. According to him, several players were still getting used to the tournament's post-match routine. Unlike a typical club fixture, World Cup games involve additional broadcast obligations and media responsibilities, creating uncertainty about where players were expected to go after the final whistle. So, Ronaldo wasn't storming off, he was just confused about the format. Whether you believe that explanation or not is entirely your call. The coach's explanation may ease some of the speculation, but it is unlikely to end the conversation completely. Then Ronaldo moved. With rumors of tension surrounding Portugal, Ronaldo let everyone know that the atmosphere within the locker room is still positive. Always united. He wrote on Instagram, sharing a picture with his teammates in training, all of them smiling during the session. 2 words, always united. From a man who famously controls his own image with surgical precision. This wasn't an accident. He chose those words. He chose that image. He chose that moment. Ronaldo had already shown optimism after the tie against DR Congo, but his post came at a special moment considering the countless stories involving the Portugal national team that surfaced during the week. As team captain, Ronaldo made sure to shut down the outside noise for a while. He knows Portugal have 2 group stage games to play, and there's still time to get back on track. But here's the thing. Always united is not the same as everything is fine. It's the kind of statement you post, music, when things are not entirely fine. When teams are genuinely fine, nobody posts about it, and the whole world knows that. Ronaldo is desperately searching to crown his career with the World Cup, the only major title missing from his cabinet. Portugal's tournament got off to a highly lackluster start, adding to his recent struggles, as he's now gone 10 consecutive games in major tournaments without scoring, making it the longest drought of his international career. It was the 4th time in 5 World Cups that Portugal failed to win their opening match, and it was another referendum on the enigma that is Cristiano Ronaldo at this level in 2026. The debate has divided Portuguese football supporters, with some praising Neves for promoting music, team unity, while others see it as a lack of respect for Ronaldo's unparalleled contributions. Portugal returned to action on June 23rd, when they take on Uzbekistan at 1 p.m. Eastern Time in Houston. A win would see them take a strong step towards the round of 32, but anything short of that will once again put Ronaldo and his team in the eye of the storm. Because when that next game kicks off, every pass that doesn't reach Ronaldo is going to be screenshot. Every missed chance is going to go viral. Every post-match word from every Portugal player is going to be dissected. The microscope on this squad right now is the size of the stadium itself. Joao Neves said Ronaldo is just another player. Ronaldo responded with a training photo and 2 words. Bruno Fernandes backed it with a heart. Ronaldo's sister liked posts that blamed the midfielders. And the whole world watched all of it. This Portugal squad is carrying more than just a footballing challenge into the rest of this World Cup. They're carrying the weight of a question that's been building for years. One about legacy, about transition, about what it means when the greatest player in your country's history is also the player your team has to manage most carefully on the pitch. None of them asked for this argument to go viral, but it did. And the next game will tell us far more than any Instagram post ever could. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed watching this video, click on one of the boxes playing on your screen to watch more similar content. Fans react as Joao Neves claims Ronaldo is just another player. Sportskeeda. Joao Neves' girlfriend shuts down Instagram after Ronaldo fan abuse. Free Press Journal.